In the meantime, the Nigerian military has strongly condemned Amnesty International reports, calling it false and an attempt to mislead the international community and Nigerians. The Chief of Defense Information, Brigadier General Rabi Abubakar, who was also on our breakfast program Sunrise Daily, explains that the military is a disciplined organization and cannot afford to go against the rule of engagement.
Whatever we're doing is not in any way contravening, the constitutional provision, that allows us to move and quell any uprising wherever it is. We don't shoot, rather we protect. We don't kill, rather we ensure that we give dignity to our human beings, to our citizens, and we protect their human rights and dignity wherever they are, and even those who are domiciled in this nation. So we don't kill, okay? We don't kill. We only operate to safeguard this nation. So whatever we do is for the best interest of this our great nation, and nobody is above this nation. Remember that armed forces anywhere in the world operate in the last layer of command. Okay, so but where needs be, constitutionally we have to come in to support or to complement, the other security agencies in order to achieve the set strategic and national objective, and that's what we are doing. So, issue of saying we are just trying to bring sentiment into all these things, we should not in any way meddle or allow our sentiments, to cover our sense of judgment, in situations where security issues, are in forefront. I think we are not going to, we will be doing disservice to our nation if we allow this kind of sentiment to, to keep on overriding our sense of national judgment.
Brigadier General Rabi Abubakar is the Acting Director of Defense Information. Well, let's now return to the anti-immigrants march going on in South Africa, and our Bureau Chief, Betty Dibia, joins us now to give us a sense of what's happening in that country. It's great to have you on the program, Betty.
Thank you, PC.
Now, what more can you tell us about the anti-immigrants march going on?
The march, the approved march, because we have the parallel marches as well as the approved one. The approved one has since ended because it was taken to the Department of Home Affairs, where a memorandum of their grievances and demands as well was presented to the officials there. They read it out first and then, they handed it over. But the bits of news we're hearing now is, the violence that marred the protests. You had other groups of people who have destroyed property, who have looted here and there. But those other people, that's the Mamelodi concerned residents, have distanced themselves from that. And then the different areas, you saw the area in the Somali, where you have a lot of Somali residents or Somali nationals, where the people said there was a near face-off, let me put it that way, between the local citizens as well as these people who said they're ready to defend themselves. And the police had to fire rubber bullets and stun grenades to disperse the crowd. And this evening, I understand that the Nigerian Acting High Commissioner, Ambassador Martins Cobham, will be headed to an area where you have foreign nationals as well, mainly Nigerians, to speak to them. That was after a meeting today with the Minister for Home Affairs, Malusi Gigaba, to find ways of, calming frayed nerves, because attempts have been made to attack areas where people of foreign origin, are staying, and many of them are saying they're willing, they're ready to defend themselves. So anybody should come, and nobody wants any bloodshed. At least so far, we haven't heard of any fatalities, but some people have been hurt. I remember seeing a young man who was hit by rubber bullets or so, but they're trying very hard to calm things. But some groups are blaming the government for keeping quiet for this long, waiting till the last minute to start condemning or speaking up. Some officials have already spoken up. We know that the Minister of Home Affairs has been going around trying to calm the people and cautioning the leaders in the communities to watch what they're saying. But we don't know what the night will hold, but we're hoping more violence won't happen.
Now, with the xenophobic attacks and then followed by the marches here and there, which has led to violence, what's the mood, what's the situation like, especially among Nigerians in South Africa?
Nigerians in South Africa, of course, they always refer you to the historical ties or the support Nigeria provided. But you can't deny the fact that you have quite a lot of Nigerians, especially young men, who are here not doing much. And we have the issue of the drugs. It's not only Nigerians, but it doesn't make it right. And people, we even after the last report that we did regarding the cleanup area, cleanup exercise in Ekurhuleni, a brothel as well run by a Nigerian was discovered where you had young girls, as they said, allegedly as young as 12 years old, discovered. So you still won't deny, but Nigerians are worried. They feel bad because we know that we have South African businesses in Nigeria. We have South Africans living freely in Nigeria. But the concerns of South Africans is the issue of undocumented people selling drugs, and people doing crime. When people are undocumented, it's hard to police them, to know this person has a record. Do we know who he is, where he lives, where he comes from? But there is also the issue of collateral damage, people being tarred by the same brush. When you hear Nigerian, you say, oh, drugs. But, there are so many Nigerian professionals here doing legitimate business and doing well. We have doctors, we have teachers, and so many of it, but they feel bad that such a thing is happening. But, again, the South Africans say, this is not a xenophobic attack, it's a fight, it's a cry.
We seem to be having connection issues with Betsy's. Okay, Betsy is still on. Okay, I was going to ask, you mentioned earlier that the people are not happy that the government has waited this long before condemning the attacks. But what efforts have the government put in place to forestall or to prevent a recurrence of these attacks?
Apart from the statements being made, we have the police very present, although there is mistrust for the police on the side of the local citizens as well as the local citizens accuse the police of supporting the foreign nationals. The foreign nationals accuse the police of not doing enough to protect them. So the government is making efforts, sending out the top line officials to speak with the people. We've had a series of meetings in the past 2 or 3 weeks that first we had Rosettenville, and then we had Pretoria West. And then the speech is being made. Every chance to make a speech, people, the government officials are condemning. But some groups are still saying that the government waited too long to avert this by not condemning it early enough.
Channels TV South Africa Bureau Chief Betty Dibia, thanks for your time, and do have yourself a great weekend. Well, still to come on Network Africa, a look at the impact of digital connectivity, and that's on our Africa Tech segment. Please stay with us.